Hey everybody, I'm Griffin McElroy from Polygon. I'm sitting here with Oleg from Vostok Games, who
Hi,
is
everyone.
developing Survarium, a free-to-play online shooter that was sort of born from the ashes of the S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 project.
That's true. Yeah.
Sort of an interesting history there, and we'll get into that. But has that transition been difficult for you guys to jump from this one project to a very different, online game?
It's been rather challenging and exciting at the same time, as opposed to being like real, difficult. At least for until now. Our background is traditional kind of retail single-player games, but with this title, we are aiming the online market, and we're creating the new server-based technology and building the game. And I think the spirit within the team pretty much compares to the atmosphere of developing the original S.T.A.L.K.E.R game, because it was all about like innovation, the challenge, the pressure we feel from the community, and this all keeps us motivated and drives us forward. So.
Have you had to basically start from scratch? Because I know you had to develop your own engine. You had to start it. You couldn't use the franchise because you guys don't have the rights to S.T.A.L.K.E.R.
Yeah.
But you very much want to make a game like in that vein. So, I mean, was it basically a clean slate for you guys when you started Vostok?
Yeah, it was a tough time because we had to really to start off from scratch. We were intending to complete and keep working on S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, but unfortunately there was this rights issue and we couldn't find the proper funding to support all that. So we had to go like Plan B, and at that time it was like, we need to start it all from scratch. However, we still had quite a bunch of ideas of S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 and ambitions there, and although it's an online game, we still want to implement some of those ideas in Survarium.
Why did you decide to go away from that model that you guys had proven like you could do? Like S.T.A.L.K.E.R was a great game, and people talked about how original it was and how original the setting and narrative was, and it seems like you guys are moving away from that. Why did you decide to go into the online space?
It's kind of natural. You can see the whole market changing now, and more like serious and big projects, they go into the direction of online and free-to-play stuff. And we are just following the kind of trend. We're trying to be up to date in everything. So, and it's. We also see a number of advantages actually of going online as opposed to sticking to traditional retail development, especially because we can let the players play the game without having to wait for 3 or 5 years until the project is over and it's done. And on top of that, we can continue developing the game in coordination with the players. We can do it in accordance to their taste and their likings. We can ask them what they like about the game right now, what they dislike, and we can modify the way the game will continue developing further. So it's a great thing for the developer to have.
It's got to be more challenging though, because you have to develop this server architecture. You're a very small team to be developing an MMO. I think you said there were 40 or so people working.
Yeah, we're still about like around 40 people on the team. There's still a lot to be done, but we have the experience and the talent, and we're pretty confident of what we do. And it will still take us quite some time to deliver everything that we wanted for the game. But the progress has been pretty good so far, and we're happy with the results. So.
The game seems to have a focus on player versus player combat. That's what you showed off today during the Gamescom demo. It's the first thing that you're launching in the Russian market when the game first launches only in Russia. Why the focus on PvP?
Well, PvP is the very basic mode that will actually serve a good ground for us to build the game further on. So it's just the basic mechanism to test the game balance, the basic game mechanics, and that's the easiest mode to implement as a first one. So that's why we chose PvP for the start.
I was really interested to hear more about the sort of open world mode that you talked about. It sounds similar to some other games that we're seeing now, but like I'm kind of curious to see how you guys would put your own twist on it.
We're still kind of up to building that kind of unique atmosphere of first of all, the post-Soviet kind of apocalypse, and we want to integrate a strong story component. We still have those like anomalies, artifacts. There's a lot of like smaller details in the game that the player will need to explore, and we want to build a really kind of deep game that will keep the players playing for quite some time. And yeah, with the free play, it's the experience of kind of lone wolf. You go out surviving against mutants, against other players, and I still believe we have quite some ideas that will set the game apart from other titles in the market.
When are we going to start seeing this for a Western release? Because I know you guys are taking your time to make sure that you really get it right.
Yeah, well, we intend. It's still in closed alpha version at the moment. We intend to start some, like again, alpha testing with the international community sometime soon. But I guess when it comes to the release, it might take us another year or so before we're actually ready with the game to ship in Europe or North America. We're still exploring of which market would be, best for us to start. So.
All right, Oleg, thanks for talking to me and showing me the game. I hope everything works out for you guys, and I'm excited to see the full thing.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for your time. Thanks for the interest in the game, and we'll definitely keep you posted about the progress.